What do you get when you mix a particle accelerator, pirates, and a bone-eating snot flower? The most gruesome ways to die in human history. Welcome to the dark side of science and history. I'm Sticky Nick, and we're about to dissect 10 ways to shuffle off this mortal coil that'll make your skin crawl and your stomach churn, so stick around. At 10, let's imagine being struck by a beam of particles moving at nearly the speed of light. It's like being hit by a microscopic bullet train, but instead of ending you instantly, it decides to take you on a torturous ride. It's like being microwaved from the inside out, only slower and far more painful. And here's a kicker, this actually happened to someone. Anatoly Bugorsky survived a hit from a particle accelerator in 1978. Half his face remained paralyzed. Talk about splitting headache. Number 9 takes us to the depths of the ocean. Picture this, you're a diver, and you've forgotten the cardinal rule. Ascend slowly. As you rocket towards the surface, gases in your blood form bubbles faster than a freshly opened bottle of fizzy pop. The result? Excruciating pain throughout your entire body. Your muscles cramp up like you've just run a marathon in lead boots. Your joints feel like rabid badgers are pulling them apart. And if that wasn't enough, your brain might decide to clock out early, leaving you confused and disoriented. It's like the worst hangover you've ever had, multiplied by 1,000. At number 8, we have a classic, crucifixion. It's the world's worst DIY project, and you're the main material. You're nailed to a cross, your body weight hanging from your wrists, the sun beats down on you, and you're as naked as the day you were born. As time passes, your body loses strength. Breathing becomes a Herculean task. This could go on for days, slowly suffocating as carbon dioxide builds up in your body. It's a bit like being at a never-ending boring dinner party, except infinitely more painful with less small talk. Lucky number 7 takes us to the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. It's over 36,000 feet deep. That's like stacking about 64 Eiffel Towers on top of each other. As you descend, the pressure increases faster than a politician's promises during election year. First, your bones snap like twigs in a wood chipper. Then your lungs would collapse faster than a souffle in an earthquake. And if by some miracle you survived all that, a charming little creature is waiting for you at the bottom. It's called a bone-eating snot flower. Usually it dines on whale carcasses, but I'm sure it wouldn't mind trying some stick figure sushi for a change. Well, I guess that's one way to get to the bottom of things. Number 6 brings us to ancient Rome for a punishment that's worse than any political debate. You've annoyed the wrong Roman, and now you're about to become one with nature inside a donkey. They'd sew you in with just your head sticking out and then leave you in the open sunlight. It's like a sauna, but instead of relaxation, you get suffocation and the lovely aroma of a decomposing donkey. You're slowly roasting, marinating in donkey juices, and dying of thirst. I guess this is what happens when you take getting your ass handed to you a bit too literally. At number 5, we have the Vikings' favourite party trick, the blood eagle. It's like extreme origami, but with your rib cage. First, they cut open your back and break your ribs, spreading them out like wings. Then, for the grand finale, they pull out your lungs and drape them over your newly formed wings. All while you're still alive, mind you. It's like the world's worst massage with a side of organ rearrangement. Well, that's one way to spread your wings. Talk about giving someone the red carpet treatment. Number 4 brings us to the high seas with keel hauling. Pirates weren't just about buried treasure in fancy hats, you know. The unlucky victim would be tied to a rope and dragged under the ship from one side to the other. The ship's barnacle-covered hull would act like a giant cheese grater, shredding your skin. And if that wasn't enough, you might also drown or be eaten by sharks. It's like the world's worst water park ride with a 100% dissatisfaction guarantee. Well, I guess that's one way to get your sea legs or lose them entirely. The bronze medal goes to Scism, a Persian execution method that makes all the others look like a walk in the park, a very painful insect-infested park. You're stuffed into a hollow log between 2 boats, force-fed milk and honey, and then covered in the stuff. This attracts insects who decide you're the perfect spot for a new home. These larvae burrow into your skin and start munching away. It's like hosting a very enthusiastic, very hungry group of uninvited guests. And the worst part, you'd likely be awake for a good chunk of it. Talk about a nightmare slumber party that goes on for days. Well, I guess that's one way to become one with nature. Talk about your all-inclusive bug resort. Remind me to stick to less popular tourist destinations in ancient Persia. Our silver medalist is a death that's out of this world, literally. Imagine being caught in a neutron star. It's like the universe's most extreme roller coaster, but instead of fun, you get obliteration. First, you'd be in a constant state of freefall, with gravity becoming increasingly intense. This gravity would proceed to rip you apart, starting with whatever part of you was closest to the star. If that somehow didn't end you, the radiation would. And for the grand finale, the magnetism would distort your atoms into thin cigar shapes, transforming you into a plasma cloud. It's like being turned into cosmic spaghetti and then vaporized for good measure. Well, I guess that's one way to get a stellar makeover. Talk about your extreme body modifications. And our gold medal for the most gruesome way to die goes to falling into a hypothetical hole through the center of the Earth. First, you'd burn up as you approach the core, which is hotter than the surface of the sun. If the heat didn't finish you, the pressure would. The air would become as dense as water. You couldn't just keep falling, the pressure would flatten or suffocate you because your lungs couldn't expand. And you'd boil alive in virtual liquid oxygen. It's like the world's worst water slide ending in a pool of molten rock and crushing pressure. Talk about going out with a bang. Well, I guess that's one way to get to the core of the matter. Talk about your extreme core workouts. And there you have it, 10 ways to shuffle off this mortal coil that would make even the Grim Reaper wince. If this walk through Death's dark alleys piqued your interest, you might enjoy our other exploration video titled 10 Torture Devices That'll Make Your Skin Crawl. Hit subscribe to delve deeper into history's macabre side.